Get money, get money. What you say, Get money. Money getters. What's good? Happy Father's Day to the dads out there. How, how are all the fathers doing today? It's your day, and we want to celebrate you. This is a show for the fathers, especially the fathers who are being prevented from seeing their children, the fathers who are in nasty custody battles, the fathers who don't know where their children are because the mothers have taken the kids and moved away with them because the mothers have got with a new man and he doesn't want those children to see their dad. We're going to let it all out on this show. Okay, because all that telling moms, single moms, happy Father's Day, it's not going down over here. Even if you're raising your children by yourself, you are not a man, you are not a father, you are not a dad. And you, as a mother, can never replace a father. All right? So I need you guys to hold me down in, in these comments. Okay? Represent. Represent for the fathers who can't celebrate today, who can't be happy today because they're not allowed to see their children. Come on in, come on in. We're talking about bitter baby mothers who alienate their children from their fathers. Deadbeat mothers. There's such a thing as deadbeat mothers. If you didn't know, now you know. Okay? We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into some things on this live today. Okay? When you come in over here, when you come in the live, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me and help me get out in the algorithm so we can get this chat going, okay? Thank you. Today we're talking about the bitter baby mothers. You know, the kind that get mad because they're no longer with their child's father. The kind that get mad because he missed a child support payment because he lost his driver's license because she reported him. You know, the kind that get pregnant by a man that they don't really know. The kind who, those baby mothers who never have anything good to say about the father around the child. So they make the kid not want to go and see the father. Those mothers, that's who we're talking about today. It's Father's Day, the day that we celebrate fathers, the day that we recognize those fathers who are there for their children. Guys, do me a favor and go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. I got a few of you in here and the likes are not showing that. And I need you guys to get with it and get in the comments for me. And let me know what you think about deadbeat moms and their failure to facilitate a relationship with their children's father. Because I think that, I believe that, I know that when a child is born, they're born to a man and a woman. And I feel that no matter what, that man, that woman should always put that child first, no matter what. No matter what. Put whatever feelings you have aside. As long as that other parent is doing their best, your kid is safe with them, your kid has fun with them, your kid is loved by them, they don't have to be perfect because nobody is perfect, right? No one is perfect. So we got to give that same, we have to give that same type of recognition to the fathers, right? We can't just hold them to a higher standard than we hold the moms just because they carried the babies. And I feel like quite often already it's set in stone that the mom carries the baby, it's mama's baby, daddy's maybe, right? Mama carried the baby, so mom gets to decide if the baby is born, whether or not the father wants her to keep his child. Before the child is even born, upon conception, the mother is going to decide whether she will continue on with that pregnancy, right? The father has no say so in that. He doesn't get to say, well, I think you should keep it, or he doesn't get to say, well, I don't want children, right? He has no say so, and the law is backing the women on that. If a woman doesn't want to keep the child, she doesn't have to. She doesn't even have to tell the father that she has a child, right? Or that she's having a child. That's on her. But that shouldn't be it. If a woman finds out that she's pregnant, it should be a law that she immediately should tell the father that she is having a child. Right? And they should be able to decide together if that child is born. Because why should a father have to pay for a child that he may not want? Or not even that he doesn't want, but that he's not ready for it, that he didn't have in mind, right? And we're talking about like oops babies, right? And then at that moment, especially if the parents are not married, because if they're married, it should already be that the wife lets the husband know that she's pregnant. The wife should already have it worked out that her husband is going to be in that child's life, and that the baby she's carrying is her child, her husband's child, right? So yeah. And then if they're not married, paternity should be established upon the child's birth. Automatic blood test. Let's find out who this baby's father is. Who that baby daddy. And then, once paternity is established, then we move on to child support and custody. If the parents live together, okay, fine. If the parents don't live together, then let's get something squared away. How the visitations will go, who's going to be in charge of deciding, of making medical decisions, things like that. And if they can't get that together, then a judge can decide what's best in the best interest of the child. Do a full mental health workup on the parents, uh, evaluate their finances, evaluate their living conditions, all of that. Let a judge determine if the parents can't come together under mediation and sign some type of document pertaining to who will have that child and why they should have this amount of visitation with the child. Just have it already set in stone, okay? You avoid a lot of hiccups in the future. You avoid having to tear that child out of one parent's arms. It's just a lot. So from the get-go, if a couple is together, then okay. If they should decide to break up, then immediately it should be a law. Immediately, within 30 days, you contact the court, and then you guys go to mediation and let the courts decide. If you can't come to a decent resolution, how those babies will be handled. Because parents just get it all wrong, right? They got it messed up. And so that's why I wanted to take a deep dive. I really want to get into um, this dynamic with fathers, because there are so many children who are abandoned by their fathers. There are so many children who never met their fathers. There are so many children who don't even know who their father is, right? So why would we as mothers, why would women deny those fathers who care and who love their children? Why would they deny them access to their children? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't ever happen. And I'm going to break down the mental framework of a woman who feels that it's best to keep her child away from their father, from his or her father, even when the other parent is a decent human being, right? Because what we're not going to do today is talk about, well, he didn't pay child support. Oh, he's this or that. We're talking about men who are good fathers, right? Or who are decent fathers. And who's to decide that? Not the mom. Because if she had a baby by him and she's saying, well, I found out later that he's not a good person, well, she doesn't have good character judgment and she doesn't have good judgment for herself, right? So why should she be able to decide anything for her child? Because she put her and her child in that position. So let a judge determine who's who and what's what. That's what I feel should happen. So yeah, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about why women think it's okay to prevent their children from seeing their fathers just because they say so. Why is it okay for a woman to make it hard on a man who wants to be in his child's life? It's not okay. And just like, this is what I feel. Just the same way that they are um, putting men in jail, taking their license, just the same way that they are holding men accountable for not paying child support, women should be held accountable when they alienate affection from the father. And I don't just mean by giving the child to the other parent. No, if a woman is found to be alienating her child from the father, if a woman is found to be coercing the child into making up stories about the father, if the woman is doing anything to deny the other parent visitation and she hasn't gone through the course and let the course, or let me back up, if the court has decided that after a thorough evaluation of both parents, after a thorough evaluation of where the parties live, if they have deemed that that father is safe and sound, the mother shouldn't be able to then decide that she's not going to let her child see that father without there being repercussions. If there is an if there is something going on, the mother should have to go to the courts and go through the proper procedures, file a restraining order, contact law enforcement, all of those things. But that's not what's happening, is it? That's not what's happening. You have women getting mad because the child support was late, getting mad because uh, Miss Chalet came home and said, Daddy has a new girlfriend, right? Now that's another thing. Parents should both know who the other party is having around the children, and it should be something in the paperwork, custody agreement that says that no one is allowed to have anyone, no parent should have another partner or someone they're dating or anybody around the child unless the other parent has met them and they approve. Period. Period. Because why is it okay for my child to be around someone I don't know, right? And that goes on both ways. That goes both ways. You're seeing, and the reason why that's so important, it's so important because there's so many news reports about children losing their lives at the hands of mommy's new boyfriend or mommy's new husband, or they're getting harmed by mommy's new partner. So when that happens, mommy should go to jail too because she neglected the child and because she didn't keep the child safe. And sometimes that happens, but it's not happening enough. But that's the reason why mommy shouldn't be able to have new guy around the child unless dad approves. Mommy shouldn't be able to move a new guy into the home unless dad feels like it's safe. And he should be able to have, and that new party should be fully evaluated, his criminal background, his employment history. He should have character witnesses, all of that, because usually these type of people that harm kids, they have a criminal background. They have some type of background that shows that they are not good to be around kids. And you'll see women get with these men, they'll get with these new guys, and they'll let these new guys tell them they don't want them to see the baby daddy. They don't want the kids to be around the baby daddy. And if the child support was laid, or if dad doesn't toe the line, then he'll use that as an excuse for him to say, hey, I don't want him back over here. I feel like he's still trying to get with you. I feel like he wants his family back, and I'm over here taking care of his kids. He didn't pay his child support. No, new guy doesn't get a decision. And what happens with that child, even if he is helping, right? Because you'll see that happen a lot of times too. All of a sudden, things have been going okay. Things were going okay with the co-parent situation, right? But then when a new guy comes along, suddenly it's a problem. It's a problem. It's not even okay for the child to call the father, you know, or it's not okay for the father to meet somewhere and pick the child up. That new guy he's territorial. He doesn't want his woman to have anything to do with the other guy. And he really doesn't want her to have anything to do with her child with the other guy because it's not his kid. Right? But nothing should prevent a man from being able to see his kids. Let that man see his children. And I just had to do this live because as a mom of 5 daughters, I know what it's like on both ends, right? I know what it's like on both ends. As someone who grew up with a stepfather, and as someone who grew up with married to a new guy with more children and having children before him. So I know what that's like. And I also know what it's like to get divorced from somebody and have to go through a custody um, situation through the courts. We had to go through mediation and everything. And it was just a whole lot of stuff, right? Things that you don't want to have to endure as a parent. But I did everything I could to ensure that my ex-husband was able to see his children. I've always been like that. Um, I've always wanted my children to have their father in their life. That's the most important thing. And he's not here anymore. He's gone. But he's gone on to glory. He passed away. But shout out to Rob. But it's just so unfortunate that there are so many people who begrudge the child's father from having a relationship with the kid. And to me, this is how I feel. Let me know if you agree or disagree. If you really love your kid, You would want what's best for them, right? You would want them to have both parents in their life if it's at all possible. If that father wouldn't wouldn't harm a hair on that child's head, if that father is protective, even if that father doesn't work, even if he doesn't work, if he's in between jobs, but he could help out with dropping off little Samaj and picking up Samaj after school, right? If he could help out with uh, cooking him breakfast and things like that while you go off to work. I know it's not the most ideal situation. No one wants to have to take care of all the finances for a child, but let the father help where he can. Maybe he can help with after school care. Maybe he can help with extracurricular activities. He could go, coach, volunteer and coach a football team so he could spend more time with his child and he could actually get free football for his child or basketball. They do things like that, right? Let him see the kid when he can. Hey, Kim Alexander, thank you for joining my live. We're talking about deadbeat moms on this Father's Day. On this good Father's Day, we are celebrating fathers who are good to their children, fathers who want to be a part of their life, but they can't because they have a bitter baby mama, a bitter ex-wife who wants to come in between that. And that is not cool at all, right? If, even if that man hurt you, even if that man cheated on you, if that man, even if he was emotionally abusive to you or something like that. No, that's not good. But if he loves that child, maybe you two didn't work. Maybe you two didn't work, but he's still a good father to that child, right? Maybe he cheated. Maybe he lost his job. Maybe you guys just couldn't get it together. Okay. But if he is everything right to your child, to your son, to your daughter, and this is what I just don't get. It takes a lot to raise a child, especially those elementary school kids that are so demanding, those little toddlers. I think that you have to be a straight up weirdo. I said it. I said it and I'm saying it. You have to be very weird and you must have lost some of your marbles if you don't want that man to come and take some of that some of that hard work off of your hands. What is wrong with you? Absolutely not. Let that man see his babies. You're sitting up uh, running around like a chicken with your head cut off because you got to take them to all their extracurricular activities. You got to drop off and pick up from school. You got to go to work. You got to take them to the dentist. You got to take them to medical appointments. You got to do the grocery shopping. You got to do all the cooking at home. And you don't want them to see their father because you're mad that he didn't marry you. You're mad because he had a baby on you. You're mad because he married another woman and had more children and you didn't get the family you wanted. Get over it. Stuff happens. People don't work out, but a child has nothing to do with that. A child has nothing to do with your hurt feelings. Use some emotional intelligence. Get you some therapy. Go work out. Drink your water. Take care of business. And a new man to come along. Start dating and getting to know someone. Take your time. Take it slow. Date a few new men. And then send little Jakari over to his father's house for the weekend so you can really enjoy yourself and have a good time on the weekend. It ain't that much hurt in the world where I'm going to keep a child from their father when I could be out dating and meeting new people, when I could be out with my friends, going out on vacations or just staying home chilling, catching up on my favorite TV shows, rubbing my feet together in my bed and not having to worry if my kid is okay. I don't have to worry about child care. Like, get a clue. Hey, K Money, thanks for joining the live. I'm over here going hard on these bitter baby mamas. I can't stand a bitter baby mama. I promise you I can't. I can't stand the bitter baby mama that's mad at the new girlfriend. And I for sure can't stand a bitter baby mama who doesn't want a man to be a part of his kid's life. I can't stand that because it hurts the kids. It hurts the kids. And I really need some men to get in here and tell me, no, we're not going to be nice to the bitter baby mamas today, because there's men on Facebook, on social media, crying because they didn't get to see their child today, and it's Father's Day. So this is the father's opportunity to get on here and, do their little rant. They have a safe space here. Just like moms got celebrated on Mother's Day, we're going to celebrate fathers. We're going to celebrate fathers. And we're going to give them a voice. Because why should everything be about moms? Just because she's a conduit for bringing the baby into the world. And as a mom, I think that's the most blessed occasion. I think a woman should be celebrated. It takes a lot to carry a child. Happy Father's Day. That's right. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers who provide, who protect, who care about, who ensure that their children are growing up to be productive citizens of the world. Those fathers who are A1, not perfect, but they do what they can, and they make sure that their children have what they need and that their children feel loved. There's a lot of good fathers out there. There's a lot of good fathers out there, but many aren't given the chance. Many are, they don't know their rights. Or they don't have the best living situation, so they can't go into a court and say, hey, I would like to see my child, or they don't have a car. It's a lot of different things that a man may not have, and he may need to get himself together. But as a mom, because you love your child, you don't have to help him get a job or anything like that. But if you can, hey, you know what? I know you don't have your living situation together right now, but if you want, I can make sure that DJ gets to you this Saturday. Can you meet us at the park? Is there a way that, you can meet us at the library where it's cool this summer, and I can drop him off to you there, and you guys can spend time together? Why can't something like that be facilitated? All right, K Money, thanks for stopping by. Why can't that happen, right? Let that man see them babies. Let that man do his part where he can. And if he's cool, if you got a cool baby daddy like that, right? Shoot, let him come to your house and watch the kids while you got on a date. If he is emotionally intelligent and he can handle himself, right? Because sometimes that might not work. But if he can handle himself and he's on the up and up, and maybe he has a new woman too, he's dating, you guys are friends, what's wrong with saying, hey? And sometimes maybe he doesn't have his living situation together, but he has a mom, he has a dad, and you could drop the kids off to the grandparents' house, and then they all still help with the child. Because let's face it, some men, until the kids get middle school, teenage, they may not always be patient with the little ones, or they may, a lot of dads do. A lot of dads are full or hands-on, fully committed, and they do a great job. Those are the good dads, by the way. But some guys, he isn't there yet, and you know that because that's why you broke up, and you know that because that's why you guys aren't living together. You guys couldn't work out because maybe he wasn't mature enough yet. But he's still a good person. And his mama's gonna help out, and his dad's gonna help out. Don't just take the custody fully away from him. Give him a chance. Give him a shot. Right? So yeah, it's Father's Day, and it was a good day today. Very good day. I'm at home in bed very early because I'm not feeling well. I haven't felt well in about a week or two, guys. But I felt it imperative to get on here and celebrate the dads who make it happen for their kids. The Russell Wilsons, right? The D Ways who accept their children no matter what. Russell Wilson, he stepped up and became a stepfather to a child that was not his. Let's celebrate those guys. The Boosies, the little Boosies. Even though little Boosie is crazy, one thing about him, he has made his home, his his whole his whole everything about his kids. His kids, he said he wanted to make it to where his kids don't ever have to leave home. I think they have a mini amusement park at his house. He has several baby daddies. I mean, several baby mamas. And he was upset because he said his kids wanted to play sports this summer, so they weren't going to come with him for the summer. And he was like, they're not even that good at it anyway. He said, I hope they lose every game. It was so funny, but at the same time, it was cute because here's a guy that wanted to be a part of his kid's life, and he wanted to have his kids for the summer. I think Boosie has about 8 or 9 kids. I'm not sure, but he usually has all his children during the summer. But then there was Devin Haney. He and his baby mama was going at it on social media today, and that's kind of why I like I said let me do a Father's Day live. Let me celebrate the fathers on live. I was kind of going back and forth with if I wanted to do this live, but I said let me go ahead and do a Father's Day live, and let's give the fathers the chance, the opportunity to say, hey, I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I'm not seeing my child today and I am hurt. Streamer DDG, I don't believe he got to see his little guy, Halo. And I think from what I see, because I don't know, I'm on the outside looking, and I think he does a great job with Halo. He's so proud of that little boy. And for him not to be able to see his child because he and Halle Bailey, who is his child's mother, because they couldn't get along, I think that's just so insane. This is a little baby. There's no way a mom should be able to take a child out of the country, right? Or out of the state, and they have another parent. And a full evaluation should have been done for the home life. They should have taken everything into consideration, and then it should have been determined who is going to have custody of the kid. Since Holly is the one that's going out of the country, leave the child with the father, and then you come back when you have days off for work. Because as it is, she's not only taking the kid out of the country, she doesn't want the father to see the child at all. She doesn't want him to post about the child, anything. And I don't think that's cool at all. I don't think it's cool. I think it's wrong, right? But I don't know that lady business. I don't know why she really feel like that. But I do know that they both have shown that each parent was problematic, right? So I don't think that the judge should have made the decision to let Hallie take the child out of the country. I just think that that was just, I don't know. I think that that was a bad decision on the judge's behalf. And he should have let DDG have some visitation. DDG has a mother and a father in his life. that would help him with Halo. And they could have also been responsible for making sure uh, that Halo's well-being was in was being put first and foremost. They could have had a nanny there watching out for Halo or anything. But why make it to where only one parent can make a decision for a kid? A big decision that involves that parent taking the child out of the country. That's just insane. For work or otherwise. That's crazy. Right? And I think she did that. I think Hallie did that because she didn't want to be bothered with having to go back and forth between Italy and the US while she's working. So she wanted it to be, because a lot of people say, well, why didn't he get that resolved before she was leaving the country? He probably didn't think that she was, or probably didn't know. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he did that, but he should have been on his P's and Q's, or he should have been on his Zoom or something, because Hallie said she kept asking him to put a something in writing about custody, and he never did. So I don't know, but it couldn't have been me. And if I was a dad, I don't know. Ain't no way. But she didn't want him to be able to take the child out of state, but she took the child out of the country. Crazy. Crazy. So yes, let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about bitter baby moms who prevent their children from seeing their father. And why are they allowed to do that without there being stiff penalties for that? There should be jail for mothers who make up lies about the father. There should be jail time for mothers who spend the child support on themselves and don't take care of their children. You know, there are some mothers who get thousands of dollars a month. Thousands. And they go get their hair done. They go get their nails done. They go spend it on another man. They go hang out with their friends. And the child is left at home with Momma all weekend while the mom's out doing whatever she wants to do. There's moms who do not work and who live off the child support, right? And then they have the audacity not to want to share custody. And that's what we're getting into today, guys. We're getting into those deadbeat moms, and then there are deadbeat moms who walk away from their children, right? And the father has to be a single dad, and they don't pay their child support because it shouldn't just be that child support is for the father, right? Or those deadbeat moms who know that the father is on a fixed income and they still put the man on child support. Child support is for children who are not receiving any financial support, any support at all whatsoever from the opposite parent, whether it be a father or a mother. Child support is for children who are not being provided for by the other parent, right? And sometimes, if it was the woman and she made more money, but she's just breaking even on mortgage, on car note, on insurance, if she's just breaking even and the father makes maybe 1,000 less, she wouldn't want to have to pay him, right? So if both parents are in that child's life, both parents are working together to make sure that child has what they need, then it's a wash. It's a wash. If I take care of the child during my custody, during my visitation, then you take care of the child during yours. I have a home for my child. My child has their own bedroom. My child is fed. My child has clean clothes. I make sure my child is good. When you have the child, you do the same, right? And both parents should go get jobs and have an income. You take the kid to school, I pick the kid up and help with homework during the school year. I have the kid on weekends during the summer. The dad should have the kid all summer. If you have the kid all year long, all the whole 3 months of summer, I need my baby. If you have the kid during Thanksgiving, I need my child for Christmas. If mom had the kid for the birthday one year, then dad should have the kid on the birthday the next year. Make arrangements to have your own birthday party, or make arrangements to do a birthday party together. And if the child wants the father at the birthday party, if the father didn't help with your birthday party, oh well. The child wants them there. The child has the right to say, "Hey, I want my dad here to celebrate my birthday party." Let dad come. Even if he didn't blow up a balloon, let him come. Wasn't it going to hurt you? I know it's unfair sometimes, but life isn't fair. But guess who life shouldn't be unfair for? Little Boo Boo Keisha, okay? She shouldn't have to be put in the middle of grown up stuff. It's not her fault that you didn't choose wisely, that you weren't sure, and now you're not with the baby father, right? Give those babies a chance to grow up in a world where they feel safe and loved by both parents. Because I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes bitter baby mamas get upset at the fathers because they're not together, because they're not living that idyllic lifestyle of two parents in the home with the child. But sometimes that's not what's best for the kid. Sometimes it's better for you to be broken up from the father, because now there's no arguing, there's no dysfunction around the kid. And the kid really doesn't care if mom and dad live in the same house. Children care that they can see both parents. Children care that both parents are there for them. Those kids don't care if you guys are together or not. They really don't. They do not care if dad lives under the same roof or if dad has his own home and I can go visit my dad on the weekend. We go to basketball games, or if she's a girl, he takes me to the mall to shop. He buys me new dolls. He lets me paint his fingernails. You think that little girl cares if I'm seeing dad at home or I'm seeing dad at his house? No, they don't care about that. That's mom that cares about that and how it looks to other people. Nobody cares about that but the bitter baby mama who's upset because dad said, you know what, it's not working out and it's best that I leave. That deadbeat mom that ran to the child support office as soon as they broke up and didn't even give him a chance to say, here's something on the light bill. You know what, I'm just getting in my new place. I had a first and last a deposit due, but as soon as I get on my feet, can I give you something next month? Can we come up with something next month? And maybe, this month I'll be responsible for making sure Greg Jr. gets to and from school. I'll be responsible for making sure he gets to his karate class. I'll do things like that. And then when they're at my house on the weekend, I'll be responsible for making sure they eat and that I provide for their entertainment. I know, I know you probably need help, but I had to have a place for me and Greg Jr. to stay when he comes over and visit. So, and I didn't expect this expense, but me and you are not together, so I had to get my own place. What's wrong with that? Money go get, I mean, money getters, let me know. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with a woman being mature enough to say, you know what? I know that my baby daddy, when he has it, he more than makes sure that I have what I need. But this time, he couldn't help me and it's going to be tight, but, you know, I understand. Some of y'all want to start blowing up and, oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't pay child support. You get on Facebook talking about your baby daddy. And that's just crazy. Why would you get on Facebook dragging your baby daddy? Your kid is going to see that one day. And it doesn't do anything, it does nothing at all to change the situation. All it does is make things worse. I see so many women going on Facebook today and on TikTok complaining about their baby daddy or their hey Jazzy J, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming in. I saw you on live, girl, but I was starting my live. I was like, oh shoot, Jazzy and Kendall's on live. We got to come up with a system because I love you guys and I love being a part of your lives. You guys be having it going on your lives. But I'm talking about bitter baby mamas and the deadbeat moms, the ones that run to child support even when the father is helping with the kid, even when the father is present with the child. They go to put him on child support anyway, right? I know, right? We always clash. Yes, we always clash. I think that we just all on the are all on the same wavelength. So we are. I don't know, but you know, I want to be able to support you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna probably maybe we should exchange emails because I want to know when you guys are going live or when you plan to, just so I could be supportive. And like I said, I enjoy your lives, so I could be there. And I'm so grateful for the support that you all give to me. Guys, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do that when you come in. But yes, also, most of all, what I want to do today is celebrate those dads that all you have to do is let him know you have a need, and he's going to make sure you don't even have to really ask him. He's already helping out with school clothes. He wants to be at every parent teacher meeting, every extracurricular activity. He's there. If the child is having back to school night, even though you guys haven't been together in years, he's at every back to school night, teacher conference. You guys are together and doing better as co-parents than you would have been if you were together. Right. Absolutely. They should be celebrated. Right, Jazzy? Because it's their day. It's, on Mother's Day, you don't hear anybody saying shout out to the dads who stepped up as moms and raising their kids. You do not see that. Could you imagine seeing that said Happy Mother's Day to the single fathers who step up to the plate and do the job of a mom too? You don't see that, but you see people saying that to single moms. And I know there are single moms out there who have had to raise their children on their own, and that's unfortunate. But we're not going to take away from the dads on their day because it's, the same way that there are deadbeat dads, there are also deadbeat moms. And you're getting called out today for your BS. It's a shame when bitter BMs do that. It only hurts the child. Right, Jazzy J? And they don't care. All they care about is, I'm hurt because this man has left me and now he's with another woman. He's had more children and he loves those kids more. He sees those kids more. He gave my hopes for a family to another woman. If anything, let your child go over there so they could be a part of. Let that child go over to their daddy house and be a part of what's going on. I need my child right there in family photos. I need my child right on over there with his siblings, right on over there with their daddy. Don't leave my baby out. But they can't take the place of a dad. No, that's the whole point. Like, if you have a son, you can't show a son how to use, how to go to the restroom standing up. That's a man's job. You can't talk to him about the things that a boy starts to go through when he's in puberty and stuff like that. That's for dad to do. The same way it is for mom to tell the little girl about all the different stuff that she's going to experience as she gets older and starts to develop, right? That's mom's job. Or when a girl has a question about the new boy, it's up for dad to make her feel safe and comfortable and let her know what how a man should be treating her. And the only way she will know that is if she sees her father treat her mother respectfully, and if she sees how her father treats her. Because a father needs to be there to show up at school to give his daughter roses on Valentine's Day. A father needs to be there to say, hey, let me check under your bed before I go home, or, let me show up to your school. So, because it's different when a child doesn't have an active father involved, right? So when they do, let them be a part of that dad's life. Don't hold them back from that. And it's just wrong. It's wrong to do that to your child. It's wrong to do that to the father. And it's just wrong to do that to yourself. I know a woman, uh, her children, uh, her and her husband broke up, and she just gave that man so much hell. Yeah, I mean, you just would not believe it. And she wasn't doing it because the father was abusive to the kids or whatever. She was doing it to be petty. She was mad that he got with somebody else and moved on. I could tell you so many stories like that. I've seen it happen. And, you know, I know these people, but I couldn't be friends with somebody like that, because why be so petty and just grimy? Just grimy. You guys didn't work out. And even, like I said, even if that man cheated, even if that man did you dirty and did you wrong, that still has nothing to do with the kid, right? How could you hold that hate in your heart? Absolutely, Jazzy. Some women do have that kind of hate in their heart. They're so black hearted, you wouldn't even believe it. They will go and make up stories against the father. They will coerce the children and make up lies and tell the child to lie to the courts, or make the kid feel so bad about seeing the dad that the kid say, "I don't even want to see my dad." Like, they lie on the father, and they make it a big issue to where the kid just say, "I don't even want to see my dad." So when the father calls, I've seen that too. I watched men be hurt and cry because their child didn't want to talk to them because the mom talked so bad about the father around them. You know, it's crazy. You know, I've seen women just up and move. There's this father I see on Facebook, and every so often he'll write a statement on there. If anybody seen my child or child's mother, I do want to be a part of this child's life. I haven't seen my child in 2 years. Can you send a message to my child? I don't know where they live, but if you do, please let them know I would like to see my child. Every so often, he doesn't do it every day, but every couple of months he'll post that child's picture, and he'll make that post about them. I don't know why he doesn't know where the mother is, or what he's doing to actively take her to court or whatever to make sure that he could see the child. But I know men who the mother moved away and they never see the child again. The mother didn't even bother with, getting their content, giving them their new contact information. None of that. They just up and leave with the kid. Right. It's crazy. And so many mothers out here who want an active father in their child's life, who want to have someone to provide or to just pick up some of the slack. Because let's be real, doing it on your own, um, I'm a single mom. And like I said earlier, my kid's father has passed on. He's gone to glory, hopefully. Um, but he can't be here. My daughter posted her father today, and I asked her, I said, how do you feel about your father not being here? And she said, I don't know, I'm kind of sad. He's been passed on for 3 years, but um, I felt for her because when she's having her plays at school, when, they share the same birthday. They share the same day. So from now until whenever, every birthday she's gonna, not just Father's Day, because his birthday, you know, is in the middle of June, so it could land on Father's Day sometimes. So not only will she have to think about her father on Father's Day, but also on her birthday. So it's just sad. They're gonna have to answer those questions when the child get older and starts asking questions. And you know what happens when that child gets older? Oh, that child is mad. Oh, that child is mad. That child is mad because they feel like I could have had a relationship with my father, or I was mad at my father thinking he didn't want to see me, and the whole time you kept me from my dad. And then sometimes the child resents the mother, and they don't want to have anything to do with the mother, or they just always resent them, right? Like you stole my opportunity from me to grow up with a dad. I hated my father, and the whole time I was hating him because you lied on him. Or you have this new man and he was mean to me and you didn't want me to tell my dad. So you moved me away from my father. That is so wrong, right? But shout out to the fathers who make sure that they do whatever they can to be a part of their child's life. Shout out to those fathers who have their kids today because they made it their business to take their baby mamas to court. That they didn't wait for a mom to decide that they could see their child. They went and got custody. I love those type of fathers. That type of dad is a father after my own heart because that father really loves their child and they mean business. Some of these fathers are getting joint custody because they're like, I'm not paying you child support. I can have the child at my house half the time and just like you can. You make the same amount of money as me. So when the child is with you, you take care of the baby. And when I got him, I'll take care of my end of my responsibility. Yes, they turn on the mom, so they better be careful. Right, right. I've seen it happen. Shoot, in my time on this life, I've seen so much. And I always wonder, like, why you don't want him to see his child? Oh no, my child is not about to be around nobody I don't know. I do agree with that, but what does that have to do with them seeing the child? And really, unless the court has put it in an order, that man can have his kids around anybody he wants to. And if you feel like that's the smartest way to go get joint custody, look, that's what Usher did. I think Usher has full custody of his boys. He got full custody of his boys because their mother, I think she had just lost a child too. So he said, well, we could put it on hold. We could put it on hold until after you have the opportunity to grieve your son. She didn't want to do that. Honey, that judge said, mm-mm. She wasn't emotionally fit, and they took those kids, Usher's kids, his two oldest sons, they took them from her. I think maybe now she may have joint custody or something now that they are older, but he got his kids. Same thing with Ludacris. And I thought that was ludicrous, pun intended. I thought that was just the weirdest thing that he had a, an outside baby, right? And he was able to get custody of that child from the mom. I thought that was so crazy, but he did. So fathers, don't think that you can't get custody of your child, no matter what your situation is. If that mother isn't suitable, you could get full custody. You can get full custody. And if you don't have money for a lawyer, the don't worry about that. They'll make her go to mediation with you. Don't feel like, oh, I don't have money to pay for a lawyer. You can still go to court and you can still get something worked out. All right? So that's no excuse. Don't let her use the courts against you, because just like a mother is entitled to custody, so is a father. Y'all, excuse me while I drink a little water. That's some good water, too. Yeah. If she want to get brolic with you, go ahead and. The one that died wasn't Usher's, right? Right. I believe his wife had like maybe 4 children when they got together. Maybe she had 3 when she got with Usher, and that was by her first husband. And then she went on to have 2 more with him. But I forgot what the thing was with him. He wanted a divorce, and I don't know what happened, but he took her to court, and Usher won full custody of his children. The courts deemed that she was not psychologically well to have her kids, and so Usher was able to get her kids from them. What kind of water are you drinking? I am drinking some Pure Life. Pure Life is my favorite. It used to be Fiji water. I used to love me some Fiji water. Oh my gosh, I would just drink that like it was wine or soda. But after drinking it a while, I think they changed the formula. I don't know. But I used to feel like it made my body feel better too. Because Fiji water is like, I think it's like a 7 or 8, um, as far as being, I forget what they call it. But yeah, Usher got them babies, and so did Ludacris. Um, I um I thought that was just so dope that they took the initiative to take their baby mamas to court and say, hey, you know what? They're not emotionally sound. They're bitter. They're trying to prevent me from seeing the kids. They had this happen. I think with Ludacris, his his baby mama had a child by him, but she had lost custody of her other kid, or she had gave her other kid away. And the judge said, "Oh no, no." So sometimes these baby mamas will get ridiculous and ask for ridiculous amounts of child support, or they'll try to withhold a child because the father didn't pay child support. If you owe child support, that is not a legal reason why you cannot see your kid. So for the fathers who don't know, child support has nothing to do with visitation. If you go to family court, they will not, at least in California. I know California. I've been there, seen it, where a dad wanted to get custody or visitations, and the mom was like, "Well, he's behind in his child support," and that mom was directed to go to the division of child support. That's a different department. Family court is not the same as child support. Not in California. 2 different places, or whatever. So if you owe back child support, she got to handle that with that department. If you want to see your kid, take her to court. If she's not allowing you to see your kid, take her to court. If you're a good parent, you're not abusive to your child, you're there for your child, you make sure your kid is safe and provided for when they're in your care, take that woman to court. My friend did the same thing. The mother asking for all this money a month, and he took it to the courts. Right. Put child support on yourself. Let the courts know how much you make, and let them, put up a fair amount, and also keep all your receipts. Attempt to provide her with money, and attempt to give her money without the courts. Or if you don't trust that, like I said, just go to the court, have them determine how much you should pay, and pay that. And then you don't have to worry about it. But if you can't afford it and you want to be able to say, hey, can I have joint custody? I really don't like joint custody, because I feel like it hurts the child because you got the child in two different, uh, you're breaking up their week. Like if they go to school, then they have to get picked up on a Friday, then they have to get dropped off with the other parent on a Monday or Tuesday. But if it's gonna go like that, then I think that pick the kid up on a Friday after school, and then that father or whatever, or the mother, if she has it that way, then you drop that child off on Monday, so that the kid isn't going in between two different houses during the school week. That's why I just don't really like joint custody. I like custody when it's one weekend parent, and then like the summers one and vacations they go to the other parent, just because it just makes life easier on the kid. And but I know sometimes parents to have it where 3 days for you one week, 4 days for me one week. The next week I get them for 3 days and you get them 4 days. But that's a lot. That's a lot to for parents to go through. But sometimes that's how it has to work. But whatever the judge decides, based on fairness, based on capabilities, I think that's what the parents should go by, right? And if the mom had the kid on Mother's Day, then the father should have the kid on Father's Day. If the mom wants the kid on her birthday, then the father should have the kid on his birthday. That's just the way it should go. It doesn't matter if you want to go away for the summer, if you have vacation plans, or if you're married to somebody new and you want to have your kid to celebrate your new husband's, Father's Day. That's not cool. Let the kid go with her dad. Give the father his things. Celebrate the father. Because we need to let these men know that they are wanted, that they are needed, that it is a necessity that they are in their children's lives. Right? Because if not for the father, then who? It's sad when it's sad when it's sad you have to rely on courts to tell you when you can see your kid. But people are so immature, right? They lack emotional intelligence. It's all about them. They can't see past their feelings and their hurts. But when I don't like a bitter spirit anyway, let alone a bitter baby mama. If I feel myself getting bitter or getting upset or holding on to grudges, I start praying over myself because I refuse to be a bitter woman walking around here. I am not bitter at all. And if I find myself going into the negative too much, or I see myself having a negative perspective and not looking at both sides of the coin, then I check myself. And that's why I wanted to do this, to celebrate the fathers today. I wanted to just take the opportunity to say, hey, fathers, happy Father's Day. Hey, dads, we see you and we love you. And we want to honor you too. Like you got songs about mama. You got uh, Mama, I love you about, and Dear Mama by Tupac. Those songs by Tupac and Boyz II Men. Do we have any songs for Daddy? Oh, we do have Dance with My Father by Luther Vandross, which is so sweet. I love that song by Luther Vandross. But yes, we need more recognition from fathers, because I think that when you get ignored, when you feel like you don't matter, I think you kind of accept that, right? And and that's how you respond to life. I think whatever is placed on you, I think you would kind of model that, right? What I'm saying is this: if society is telling you that you don't matter, that you're just a deadbeat, you need to pay your child support, you're never there for your kid. If society is constantly telling you that and showing you that, then what happens is you begin to emulate that. So, That's when it becomes an issue, when you don't give the father an opportunity to see their child and you come down on them. Then you go on Facebook and talk about them and tell the world, oh, they weren't there for their child. They missed the child's birthday, or not even that they missed the child's birthday. They'll say something like, oh, he wanted to come to my child's birthday, but he couldn't even buy a candy bag, or all he has is excuses. But my kid needed shoes for school. He couldn't even do that, where he didn't have it to give your child new school shoes. And maybe you did, or maybe you had to hustle harder to get the shoes. But maybe all that man had enough for was to stock up that refrigerator and pay the rent and pay the bill, so that when your son goes over on the weekend, he can still have lights and gas. Maybe he had to wear those shoes a little bit longer, or maybe you had to take the money, but dad just didn't have it at all. Don't despise him from that. Don't begrudge him a visitation with the child if you know he just could not do it. What's wrong with some of you women? What's wrong with you? Like, see the forest for the trees. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face. You know you're going to have childcare this weekend. You know that for the after school programs and stuff like that, the father's going to be there. Make it make sense. Connect the dots. You might not like them. You don't have to like them. You may be hurt. Get therapy, you know? But don't talk about that dad in front of his kid. Don't put that father down in front of your child. Care more about your child than that, because it's hurting your child, because they're a reflection of their parent. So if you're saying that the father is no good, guess what? Guess what's going to happen? Your child is going to think that they are no good. I never got that. I know I be needing a break, so you can have them when you want them. Right? Come get them. Come pick up your baby. What, call your baby daddy. Like, what you got? What you got going on? Come get your baby. Their bag is already packed. You want them a day early? Okay, you can come get them a day early. Oh, you need. I'm just playing. I don't want to get rid of my kids like that. But I remember when they were younger, and there was times where I was like, "Ooh, I need a break," and I wasn't the type of mother that was just going to let my kids go stay with anybody, not even my mother. When I had to work, my mother would have my kids, but they could stay at home with me and get on my nerves. I didn't like having my children leave my eyesight when I didn't have to work and I didn't have somewhere to be. I've always been that type of parent. My kids can get on my nerves all they want, but their father, they could be with him too. That's their other parent. And you can't feel like, well, I don't know what he's doing. Well, he doesn't know what you're doing when the kids are with you. Maybe he doesn't trust you, right? Maybe he doesn't trust you when the kids are in your care, right? So don't stop him from being able to see his kid. Don't do things with the child and not tell him. Don't exclude him from doctor's visits and from parent teachers conferences. My kids are always either with me or their dad, right? Because you know what? You chose that person, right, Jazzy? And they were good enough to make those kids with. And I know it gets a little sticky sometimes. I'm joking. I know it gets a little sticky when you have another parent and you guys have had some little things go on, and maybe you don't know what they're up, because it's different when you're in a relationship with somebody, right? You feel like you know them, you love them, and you trust them. But when you guys break up, you don't know how they're living their lives. And it's not even that you don't really trust them. If they have a new girlfriend or they have friends, but you can't be somewhere and you can't see everything. So you just have to give that trust and hope for the best and pray over your kids. It was this Facebook story. I'm a part of this mom's group on Facebook. And this mother wrote that she doesn't like it that when her child is with the father, that the father has him around his other family members and he lets them babysit, like his own sister. She didn't like it that he lets them babysit the baby. She didn't like it that um, she just had this whole laundry list of things that she did not like that the father was doing when the child was in his care, but none of it was, oh, the child is being caused harm. None of it was the child was abused. None of that. She just didn't like how what times the baby was going to sleep. Maybe the baby was like 8 months or something like that, too, very young baby, but the father had family that helped him, and the father wanted to have his visitation time. And you should have seen how many mothers told her, like, look, you don't have any say so on what he does when the child is in his care. You can't tell him what to do when the child is in his care. Like, I've seen people do that too. Like, well, my child goes to sleep at 8. He lets my child stay up late. He lets my child have candy. My child has fast food when they're with them. And that's something that I feel like that the parents should discuss and talk about and come to an agreement and an understanding on. But you can't tell that man what to do with those kids. As long as he's not harming them, you can't tell him that he has to adhere to a bedtime schedule, or that he can't have your kids around Tia because you don't like her, and that's his sister. That is between you and the sister. That's not between him and his sister. And I'm sure his sister loves that child. I am sure the sister loves her niece or nephew. So as long as your child doesn't come home and say, hey, somebody did this, that, and the third to me, and if they do, that's when you should go file a police report, and that's when you should get in contact with the judge, if it's like that. But just to say, you know what, I don't like her, I don't like your sister, and then you hear a lot of women say this too, well, he's not with my kid anyway. When the kid is over there, they're with his mom. Okay, that's his family's right to help out with the child. And that's on him and his mom if he's not with the child the whole time. But that's still his visitation. And yes, he should be more a part of that child's life. But that's his visit week. And he gets to have the say so in his household. Maybe he has to work. Maybe he has something going on. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of why a father would have his mother watch the kid instead of him actually being a part of the kid's life when he had visitation. But some people feel like that. Um, I know that was Hallie's concern with DDG. She said, oh, well, his mom and his dad have the child have little Halo more than he does. But DDG is a streamer, so he's working. He's working to provide not only for himself and his child, but I think he provides for his entire family. So he's working. That has nothing to do with you, Haley or Hallie. You have nannies or whatever, so you don't get to tell him that his mom can't be a part of that baby's life. As long as they're not causing a child harm, as long as they're not placing the child in harm's way, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone, because when Hallie is in Italy, I think she may already be there. When she's on set, who's going to watch Halo? Who will be watching Halo when she's on set all day? I think I would rather have my child's grandmother have the kid. Same thing with Offset and right, that's petty. Jazzy J. I heard Cardi say, well, I let him see the kids whenever he wants to. How can you let the other parent do anything? You're not letting anybody do anything. And that's why I say, men, go down to that coat house. That's right, I said coat. Go down to that coat house, get down there at 8 o'clock in the morning with your cup of coffee They have self help. If you can't afford an attorney, they have fee waivers if you cannot afford to file those documents. Going down to that courthouse and file your paperwork so you can see your child. The only time mom probably gets time to spend with the child is during his visitation. Right, right. So why would you tell the I know people when they punish their parents and they punish their grandparents too, and that's not right. They do that too, just to hurt the family. I've seen it done. You wouldn't believe some of the things that these women are doing. I think that society has put women on, and that's not true. There are plenty mothers without fault. I can tell you about a story I read about today, where a mom took her 8-month old baby and placed him in scalding hot water because he pooped in his diaper, and she got mad about that. About at an 8-month old baby, so many kids are getting abused by their mothers because they are bitter, because they're angry, and I think that there are more children there. I don't think statistics show that a child is most likely to be abused by a single mom. So again, dads, go to that courthouse and file your paperwork. That's why I say, if you're overwhelmed, if you're frustrated with your kids, you need a break. You need a break. Maybe take some time for yourself to go to the gym on those days when your child is with their father. Take that opportunity to have girls' time and have a girls' day with your girls. You know, get your life back, get you back. Let that man have his kids. Don't let him have all the fun, because remember, if you're that bitter about him moving on with his life, he gets to do more of that. He gets to get all the freedom because you have the kid. The cold house, Jazzy. The cold house. Go down to that cold house. Go to that self help office. Let them tell you which documents you need. All of that. And they will allow you to meet with an attorney, even at the self help counter. And they will show you how to complete those documents, so there is no excuse. Oh, I didn't know what to do, or I don't want that man in my business. Well, she's going to put that man on them, or no, those people in my business. She's going to put them people in your business if you don't. Oh, she's going to have them in your business. Hey, dancing and talking, she's not it. What's up, Rossi? We're celebrating the fathers over here. We're celebrating the dads, and we're calling deadbeat mamas and bitter baby mamas to the flow. Okay? Those mothers who make it hard on a man to see his kids, those moms who want to put child support on a man just because he got a new woman, not because he's not taking care of his kid. He's there for his kid. He helps out as much as he can, and he even goes the extra mile. But because he got a new girlfriend and you thought you were getting back with him, you want to go and put child support on him. That ain't right. Oh yes, I love your hair, Roxy. I love the pink as well. And you know what? It looks like you're losing a few inches, Roxy. I was like, I need to get up and start dancing again. I haven't danced in so long because my asthma has just been acting up so much this year. I got a walking pad and all of that to start walking. I walked a couple of times on that thing. Mm-hmm. That's right, Roxy. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. We don't celebrate them enough. It's so funny. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I almost forgot it was Father's Day. I had to hurry up and get my I have two dads. I have a stepdad and my father. I had to hurry up and get them order my dad something from Amazon and get it sent to him. You know? But Mother's Day, we all know about Mother's Day. I mean, from for the whole month, you see all you see is big pretty plants, those Easter plants, or what do they call them? Peace plants. You see those everywhere. You see flowers everywhere. And what do you see for dads? Crickets. You don't see big displays for the dads, do you? Like they don't have all of that stuff to give out to the dad. Well, not over here. We're going to celebrate them over here. You agree about those kinds of women, right? I be doing them TikToks with my kids and I be sweating up a storm. Right. Dancing is a good workout. Your dad passed on Mother's Day in 2014. I'm sorry to hear that. That's wild. On Mother's Day, right? I know that wasn't, the greatest feeling to go through. So every Mother's Day, you're going to think about your father and on Father's Day. It's always unfortunate when we lose our parents, especially on around major holidays, because now we always have to, you know, it's not that we have to, but we will always remember that we lost somebody that we cared about and that we really loved. And that just makes it that much harder to uh, to celebrate those holidays. I was saying earlier that my kids lost their father about this is like the third year without him, and his birthday is on the same day as my fourth daughter's. So this week she'll be celebrating her birthday, and she'll probably be remembering her father. So sometimes their birthday landed on Father's Day, and like in a couple of years, their birthday would probably land on Father's Day. So you got Father's Day, you got their birthday, and it's gonna be a lot because my kids are still young, right? So they'll always have that that absence in their life. That's why I say it's so important that men are in their a part of their children's life, and it's so important that, especially in the African American community, I think that so much would be different if mothers and fathers worked together to take care of their kids. Oh, that's your daughter's birthday too? May 10th is my grandmother's birthday, Roxy. Yeah. And my niece's birthday. It's like a lot of birthdays in May. What, August? I guess people be getting hot and heavy in August, huh? That's how you get a bunch of May babies, right? Or July. Is it July or August? It's August. August. August conception will make it a May baby. Yeah, but I don't know what's going. December is another month too that you get a lot of babies. Because I guess in the springtime, I guess they just start feeling, people start feeling freaky. I almost had a May baby. And I remember me and my husband was having a good time, talking about a good time. But she actually came a little early, and she was born at the end of April. But her due date was actually May. And how many people do we have born in May? My mom, my grandmother, my niece, two of my cousins, my uncle. Um, who else? Shoot, my granddaughter. Um, it's a lot. I think it's about 10 or 12, and then the rest are born in December. But yes, that's a big month for birthdays. May, December, September. May babies are the best. Is that your birthday, Jazzy? Your birthday's in May? Taurus, the Bulls. Yeah. Let me see. But I used to do those TikToks sometimes, especially when I was promoting my books. I would do TikToks, and they are a great way to exercise. Oh, your birthday was on Memorial Day this year? That's kind of cool. 'Cause that's what you went to Jamaica for your birthday, Jazzy. Oh, you're a Gemini. You're a May Gemini. Okay. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I want to go to Jamaica. I haven't been to Jamaica yet. That's on my list of places to visit. But it was so ironic because you were in Jamaica and I ended up going to like the Jamaican restaurant because I love my oxtails. And usually it's a woman in the front, but this day it was a man who came who was at the register, and he had like a sultry accent. He didn't have like that deep accent. And sometimes, and I would imagine so if you're in Jamaica, a lot of them will probably speak, probably not at the resorts, but I saw that you said you didn't understand some of it, what they were saying, Jazzy. And and remember I made that TikTok, and this guy was saying he's speaking. I forgot what he said, but anyway, that guy, he was so fine. I was like, I gotta go back and get me some more oxtails, or get me some oxtails more often. But those oxtails are so expensive. I think I paid $30 a plate, and um, and then too, you don't want to be eating oxtails all the time. But it was a minute I was eating them like twice, like once a week, so I had to cut back on them. But yeah. Oh yeah, someone in her comments got offended and told me to open my ears. He was from Jamaica, yeah. Because I was saying that my next baby daddy is gonna be Jamaican. With my old self, I don't think I'll ever have a baby daddy again. That's crazy, but but I might go to Jamaica and get my groove back and have me a Jamaican baby and bring him over here and get his papers for him. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, June Gemini's. Uh, my ex-husband used to always say that he had two different what did he say, personalities, or he said, well, I'm a Gemini, so I can switch back and forth. I'd be like, whatever. But he was really into that type of stuff. Yeah, the comments be going crazy sometimes, you know. But did you enjoy yourself in Jamaica, Jazzy? And I heard you say earlier that you didn't get to taste oxtails. Ooh, I I think I would have wanted, that would probably have been high on my list of priorities. Like, I need some oxtails. I gotta see what Jamaican oxtails taste like. So when I go, I'm gonna have to have some oxtails. It's two things I want. I want oxtails, and I want rice and peas, and I want jerk chicken, and I want to taste the plantains over there. I'm not really a fan of like curry goat or anything like that, or maybe curry chicken. I don't know, but I like the way Indians make curry chicken too. I did. I've been several times and have a ball every time. Oh, you like? Oh, you go over there frequently. That's cool. That's what's up, Jazzy. It seems like it would be a nice place to be. I mean, in the islands, it just seems like so hedonistic. Well, so why you haven't got you a Jamaican man, Jazzy? Or do you have a Jamaican man? Or have you been with a Jamaican man before? Maybe you should make your Jamaican, one of your Jamaican trips, you know. Or do you go with a man? I'm presuming that, you never had oxtails, Roxy. That is cray. But if you had short ribs, I short ribs kind of put you in the mind of oxtails a little bit. Oxtails have a different taste, but short ribs kind of or similar, I think. But I remember for the longest time I would not eat oxtails because it was a tail. And one time my mom made oxtails and short ribs together, and I fished some of the oxtail out of the pan, but I mean short ribs out of the pan, but I refuse to eat an oxtail because I'm like, that's a tail. It's an actual tail. So one Juneteenth, we were at the park, and my daughter was like, I gotta taste some of that Jamaican food. And I had never had Jamaican food. I would see people posting their place, and I would hear about it, and I'd be like, ooh, no, I will never try oxtails. Well, she got that plate, and they have filled that plate up with oxtail. Ooh. And another thing I like is the fried fish they make, like the fried red snapper. This restaurant that used to be where I live at, it used to be so good, and I was squeeze lime over it, and it had the head and the whole tail on it, and I would just tear it down. The fish would be so white inside. I would eat almost all of it, even the eyeballs. It was so good. And I wasn't. That's not like me at all. But um, yeah, so I would like the fish, and I would like the oxtails. But when my daughter got the plate, she shared it with me. I think it was like $30 at the park. We tore that oxtail plate up. I think my granddaughter even had some of it because it was a big plate, a really big plate full of oxtail and rice and peas, and then they had some plantain on there and some of that cabbage on the side. We tore that plate up, and after that, that was the restaurant that used to be out here. So they had their catering truck at the park. You know, on Juneteenth they have all those catering trucks come up, and so I found out where the restaurant was, and I would go to that restaurant. I promise you, at least once a month. And I would, my greedy self, I would get the oxtail plate, and I would get a big piece of fish on the side. And that fish was so good, you could just eat the fish, and you would be full. What's up, Kenny Ken? That's snacks. Y'all gave Kendall. I start calling her snacks because she always has the good snacks. So I said I was gonna start calling her snacks, and then I think her. What were you in Butterfly Family and Vlogs? Were you guys talking about Haagen Dazs bars? Tell me why, because I'm so greedy. All of a sudden, I start craving a Haagen Dazs bar, and I haven't had those probably since last summer. You know how ice cream goes on sale in the summer, so I'll probably buy. I'll buy the girls some ice cream. I'll buy them a few different things, but shoot, my kids, they like to eat everything up as soon as they get it. So I won't really buy a lot of that because I'm like, you guys are not gonna eat box after box of ice cream. But one thing I liked about my mom when I was growing up, my mom was a fan of a couple of things, and one of them was taking us to the park and getting us a box of those big sticks, you know, those red big sticks, and she liked the lime green big sticks too. So she would love to take us to the park and have a picnic and get us a box of those. Or also, my mom would like to have a barbecue in the backyard, and she'd have all her grandkids over, and she'd have a pool for them set up, and they could have their popsicles. So that's probably one thing I remember a lot about growing up is being able to enjoy a popsicle in the summer. Like almost every day we would have popsicles, but um, I usually buy whatever, like the Fat Boys for my kids, and I'll buy the Haagen Dazs ice cream bars for me, and I'll say, "Don't touch my Haagen Dazs bars." And of course, one of those crumb snatchers will touch it. However, I digress. I saw you guys talking about them, and I was like, I gotta get me one. You go with your girlfriends. Oh, you dated a Jamaican man before? Nothing serious? Ooh, we're gonna have to save that for the pajama party. We're gonna talk about that during The pajama party. Yes, that fried fish is banging. I tried to make some before. It did not give. It did not give the same way. But I did try to make me some of that with the jerk seasoning. It was not the same. It was okay, but it just didn't have that Jamaican flair to it. You love snacks. I see you with your petite self. Man, I'm telling you, I love snacks too. I thought I would grow out of it, but me and sugar, we don't have a good relationship going on. So, um, I have to try to abstain from it. Sometimes I do good. I'll go a couple of weeks and not eat any sugar at all. But sometimes I could just eat a lot of candy or a lot of sugar. So, and I love my ice cream. I love my ice cream, but ice cream don't love me. Yes, they are so good. Haagen Dazs is a good ice cream. I think it's the best ice cream, but and I used to eat way too much Haagen Dazs. I would go to Sam's Club and get the big tub of it, man, and I would get that ice cream and I would eat it with a cupcake. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that ice cream is so good. It's so decadent and rich though. So I'll buy like the vanilla bean these days, but Haagen Dazs is like it's really rich ice cream. But I love those bars. Um, those are like my favorite. And usually around summertime, Cali is high, but they'll be like four for 10, so you can get um, all the different varieties of the ice cream sticks or the bars on the stick, or you can get the pints of ice cream for like 2.52. My mom, yeah, those bars are so good. My mom used to get us them big sticks. My mom loved grape. I never seen grape, just the cherry, the cherry fruit ones and the lime green ones. And then they had it out here, like some of the stores. Like if you go to the dairy, you can get like a big box of the big sticks. Back then, I think you could get them for like $3 or $4. Sugar is your enemy, Jazzy J. Ugh, man. I'm telling you that I've always had bad teeth because I always ate a lot of candy. I'm talking Reese's peanut butter cups, peanut butter M&Ms, Snickers, Twix, all of it. I used to love chocolate. I'm better with it now, but I used to have a Reese cup every day, every day. And I still want sugar every day, especially if I'm not taking my iron pills. But I had my iron pill yesterday, so I didn't, and I had a banana. I didn't really feel the need for anything sweet today, which is good. Swiss vanilla almond, I like that, but they didn't have that at the store today, Roxy. They had, but my daughter was saying, get this caramel, salted caramel macadamia. I'm not a fan of macadamia, but I said, you know what? You can have that. You can have that, and I will have my boring little vanilla with milk chocolate. But I said, after I do my live tonight, I'm going to reward myself because I didn't want to have it before live. I wasn't ready for it then. But I said, once I have the live, if I still feel like it, maybe I have to wait till tomorrow because it's going to be late. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I said it's Father's Day, and I was thinking about a way to celebrate Father's Day earlier. And I said, well, most Father's Day fathers will probably be out and about being celebrated. But then I thought to myself, because I was on Instagram, right? And I saw a couple of fathers lamenting that they weren't able to see their kids today. And I said, oh no, no, we got to do something about that. We got to call these bitter baby mamas and these dead beat mamas to the carpet. That's not cool. You know, if you have a problem with the father, you have a problem with the father. But let that man see them kids. Let that man see them kids. Don't take it out on the father because you're mad that things didn't work out, or you're mad because he's late with child support, or because you don't like his new girlfriend. You handle that with your therapist. Talk about them to your mama and them, but don't put it on Facebook. Don't go off on that man on Facebook carrying his bad business over to Facebook, and he's really not that bad of a guy because, and I'm not going to say some of these dads are like this, and I'm not even going to put that on it. I'm not even going to put a but at the end of it because we could do the same thing with moms, right? And nobody ever does that. Moms are put on a pedestal, they are celebrated. You don't see anybody coming on Facebook saying, shout out to the dads that stepped up as a mom. Like, you never see that. Now, them men ain't try to see them kids all year. Stop it, Kendall. You stop it. You stop it, Kendall. No. It's good daddies out there too. And we're going to celebrate them. We're going to hold them up high and uplift them because you know what? We need to celebrate those men who are doing it so that other men can emulate them. I know you messing with us, but for real, I'm serious. Let me be serious. You're going to have me carrying on over here. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. No. Okay, let me start over. And this time I'm going to say it like I believe it. Like I was doing earlier before Kendall came over here and off. But for real, seriously, I do believe it. I know so many fathers who will put it all on the line for their kids. They do not play. I remember a long time ago, it was this dad, and I remember he didn't have a car, and I would be at the movies with my kids, and I would see him pulling up to the theater in a cab with his kids because he would go get his kids to have them on the weekend. I've seen dads walk in the rain. I've seen dads work. I've seen dads get their income tax and sign it over to the child's mother. I've seen them give the whole thing to the child's mother to make sure that their child was going to have what they needed. I've seen them do it. I've seen the men ride a bike to work so that their baby mama could drive their kid to school. I've seen the men who work and don't have anything, but their kid have what they need. Why are you doing tonight? Awesome, beautiful best friends. We're chilling and talking and celebrating the dads. What are you up to, K Money? What you got going on? What did you guys do to celebrate Father's Day? I'm not gonna lie, I sent gifts out, but I didn't even. I was supposed to go see my father, but I didn't go see him. Um, cause he down there in the city and they're doing all that protesting down there, and I didn't. He was like, just stay home. So I just sent him something from Amazon, and then my stepfather that lives near me. I was supposed to go see him today, but I'll take him his gift later. I just haven't been feeling well, so trying to stay on here with us. I know I've been seeing you going back and forth. I appreciate you all for tuning in. We just on here chilling and talking mess and all of that. Jazzy, I mean Kendall, I seen you were on live earlier too. I was telling Jazzy I need to get y'all emails or something. I was able to catch real life simulations today, and I got home and I have yet to place my order for her merch, but I really want to support her because she supports everybody, and I love the content that she does. It's very I don't know, it's different, but I love her content, and I love her sim characters and all of that, and all the hard work she puts in to making her content. I love it. So I wanted to support her channel, support her and what she's doing. I will feel better. I just need to stop running around. Yeah, put your emails in the description because if somebody wants to contact you for a collaboration or somebody wants to contact you for anything, like make a special email for your your YouTube. I have a couple of emails. I haven't been checking my business email, and I need to go over there and see what's over there. But you never know, somebody might want to do a brand deal with you or anything, or somebody may just have a question they want to ask you, or something they want to say off of YouTube, and they can contact you with that. Yeah. But do you have your email in there? And Kendall, have you started doing your Target content? You need to go to Target, and people love that Target content. And you place your link, even if you don't shop at Target, wherever you shop at, put your links there. Oh, your emails in yours? That's what's up. Yeah. Because my daughter, she has a TikTok account. She goes viral on there all the time, and she's constantly getting requests for collabs or for sponsored posts. But a lot of them I don't do them because some of them they just want you to do like a percentage, and I'm like, no, you got to pay her for a post because she has a lot of engagement, and she gets like sometimes she gets millions of views and stuff like that. So I'm like, no, you got to pay her if you want her to post something. We're not going to wait for a commission. Yeah. But that's it. I just chilled at home, and I'm chilling in bed. Let my what is it? My steroids get to work. I've been doing so much running around, and I don't believe in sitting down. I believe in getting up and going. If I lay around too much, I'm like, up, I gotta get up, and my body be like, nope, you gotta sit down. So that's what it is. Mm. But yeah, I just thought, I would take the opportunity to just show the fellas some love. And I was hoping I would get some fellas over here to crash out on the line because I be wanting some out sometimes. That makes it fun. I'm a little toxic like that, but no, I really wanted to give them the form and the place to just be vulnerable and say, hey, this is what happened between our relationship. It didn't work out. I just want to hear the male's perspective. I heard somebody say that sometimes the men who don't go visit their children don't go because it's so much of a headache to deal with that with the other woman. And then for men, like I said earlier, it's mama's baby's daddy's maybe. So sometimes if a man has a new life, he would just gravitate to that new wife or that new girlfriend, and he would just start again because he doesn't have the finances to be two places at one time. He doesn't have the time. He doesn't have the energy or the headspace. And sometimes, quite frankly, he don't want to be at the other place. So those who do, you know, I know men who have 10 kids by just as many different baby mamas, and they wish you would tell them they can't see their kids or their kids can't be around each other. They're not having it. So, I celebrate those men because there's men who will if they have several different baby mamas, they'll just only pay attention to one baby mama. I like Target too. I need to, but it's not one close. I need to get on it for real, so they can cut me a check. Right. You can also, because sometimes they have a lot of stuff on clearance, on sale or whatever. Do your Target hauls. Um, I have a Target right down the street from me, so it's easier said than done. But a lot of times I order from Target because what I order from, I mean, the things I order, they don't always have in the store. Like a lot of things that I want, they don't have in the store. And I told you about that Target group on Facebook. So the girlies in there, they're coming there with something cute on. And I'm like, oh, I want that. Like I've been wearing a lot of denim this year. It's crazy. But the denim dress I had on recently, I got that from Target. And then I have this denim hooded jacket that I just love. Oh my gosh. I bought two sizes to make sure that I could fit it. And I got that from Target. The denim skirt that I had on the other day, I got that from Target. And then they had like a 40% off. So, but I'm not monetized through Target, so I don't really do a lot of that. But I probably should do a Target haul more. Fellas over there forgetting they got kids. Yeah, they didn't forget. They just put them in the back of their mind and started with their new family. So we're not talking about those, Kendall. We're not talking about those fathers. We're talking about the ones who do remember they have children. We're talking about the ones who, even though they have a new wife, new life, happy life, they're not gonna let their new wife say that kid. It's like we're a package deal, right? Oh, they're building one close. That's what's up. That's what's up. I can't imagine not having a Target close by or a Walmart. The things you take for granted. But but I have to realize that people live in different regions and things like that, and so certain stores are more popular. But yes, so we have to celebrate those fathers who don't forget and who do make it a priority to see their kids. But yeah, I have those men that I know that they have several kids and they have several baby mamas, and the baby mamas get along. The baby mamas get along because when I think a lot of times what happens is when baby mamas don't get along and it be drama is because the man is not putting forth the effort to make sure that he's in all of his kids' lives. So sometimes that could be the issue, or because, like I said earlier, maybe sometimes he cheated on his baby mama or his ex-wife, and so there's a lot of bitterness and resentment. But some men, if they're not together, no, if they're no longer with you, they'll just move on and they'll forget about their kids. So we want to celebrate the ones who don't do that. I always look nice. Thank you. I try. I try. When it comes to clothes, I like to go in, certain styles fit different. Absolutely. I agree, Kendall. I'm not really going to try and clothes in the fitting room anyway, but I can kind of see like better what it looks like, or how, I can kind of see how it would fit on me sometimes. But I just been online shopping for so long, I just gotten used to it. And if I shop at a store regularly and know their sizing and how it generally fits on me, then I don't mind doing the online order. But that's only if it's the store's brand, because sometimes you will order things off of, especially off Walmart. Walmart, they carry other people's products. Amazon, they have various vendors, so you don't know from which vendor to the next what's going to fit. So I try to stick with like Target because I just love Target's clothes for plus size women. Um, so, and like I said, the group I belong to is called Black Women Who Love Target. It's a lot of classy base women over there. And they be putting that on. They'll get the, like, another thing they like to do is like they'll match like the Jordans with certain fits. So last year they had those AJ1s. They were like a crushed velvet, like a deep burgundy, right around Christmas time, and all the girlies were getting that, and they were matching it with this like purse that they had at Target that was also like a crushed velvet. It was super cute. I didn't get the purse, but I saw the J's and I had to have them, and I just matched it with a cute little outfit. Oh yeah, I got to keep us on track. Happy Father's Day, fellas. Right, right, right. Happy Father's Day. It's crazy. I don't buy nothing I try on. Um, yeah. Well, you have a cute little shape too. So definitely, yeah. But like I said, that group is gonna help you too. I know you say you don't have Facebook anymore, but it will help you to see what the girlies in the group are looking at, and then sometimes if you find something that you really like, whether it's clothes, it's whatever they have at Target, and you find something, then you can share your links in there, or have people go from the group into your link, and that can make you money. Another thing you could do is come up with your own Facebook group, and then you can post content in there. You can post YouTube videos in there, YouTube shorts in there, and you can also post your links in there. So once you start building up your community, that's a good way too. For I try to do that with Walmart. Oh, you want to make the group public too if you decide to do it. Don't make it private. Make it public. As you build it up, then you can make it private. But when you first start, make it public. I put my first group, Walmart, private, so I'm going to make a new group and then really try to just be more diligent about posting my content over on Facebook, because I started getting like bitter with Facebook because they stopped paying me like they used to. Right. So we had 2 hours, girlies. I did it. I'm telling you, every day I come on here, I'm like, I'm gonna have to like renege. I can't do it today, but today I did it. I'm sitting over here laying down. I got one foot propped up. My foot is hurting. My breathing's better now, so I'm good about that. So, but I was like, let me come on here and do my 2 hours. You can do it from bed. You can do your 2 hours from bed, and you'll be happy that you kept up with your momentum. I buy it, just not the actual piece I try on. Not thinking somebody probably tried on the other one. Oh, you know what, Kendall? Kendall. Not you trying it on and then hanging it back up and then going to get another one. Kendall. Kendall, you're something else. Girl, you know what? Walmart won't let you have a creator account if you don't have multiple platforms. Oh, is that what it is? I didn't know that. I guess because I have multiple platforms, I didn't know that. I thought that they didn't have. I thought they didn't have any requirements that you could just sign up. I don't know, but I don't know why Target told me no. Did they approve you right away for Target, Kindle? But I believe Amazon probably let me know in like a day or two. It took a long time for Walmart to let me know, but I will. You know what I usually do? I usually pray. Like, I I'll take my medicine and I still might not be feeling well, but then I'll usually say, you know what? Let me pray. And then I'll pray, and that's what usually does it. And I'm telling you, it's nothing like prayer. I would pray symptoms away with the quickness. And so, or I'll pray and then I'll change up my diet for a few days. That's what always gets me too, because certain things aggravate my symptoms. Ice cream is one of them. Ice cream aggravates me like crazy these days. Soda, like Sprite, Coke, that aggravates my asthma like crazy. Spicy foods, and those are all the things I want. So once I lay off of those things, then I usually get back to normal. But once I get back to normal, then I start acting a fool again. You try and it didn't let you proceed. Yes, seems like it did. Amazon didn't approve me though. Yeah, but I think Target's a good one to have. I like Walmart, but I think Target's right up there. I was fighting for my life during Black History Month. Because I really did like the Black History Month collection, but that's when they did away with the DEI at Target, and I'm telling you, it was crazy hate. towards Target. And I'm like, you guys do know that Walmart did the same thing. So did Amazon. So did most of the universities. Like it was very rare that some people didn't do away with the DEI. And they was like, oh, I'm not shopping at Target. And I'm like, but you're hurting a lot of the black creators who have businesses in Target. But I still shopped at Target. Wasn't gonna stop shopping at Target because I feel like this. You see all these people driving Teslas, and Elon Musk, he has actually said things against African Americans. I'm like, I would never be caught driving a Tesla. Target was like one of the first businesses that was inclusive before the DEI initiatives. Target continues to have uh, products and different things from African Americans. And like I said, they didn't do it because they wanted to do it. They did it because their businesses were going to be hurt by the orange man. So they were caught between a rock and a hard place. And like I said at the beginning of the day, the only color that really matters to any of them is a dollar bill. And if you have a product and your product is selling, then they're going to continue to sell it. So I don't know why people were so up in arms about just Target, because all of the stores were doing that. All of them. Everybody that had DEI initiatives in place, they were all the orange guy got in office and start making an issue with, taxes and stuff like that. He was gonna, like, you see what he did with Harvard. Harvard didn't bulk. They didn't lay down. The orange one was like, lay down or get down, and when you get down, you better stay down. And Harvard said, what's good? Harvard said, what's good? We're not gonna let you tell us what we can and cannot do. And what Trump do? He said, no, now you can't have international students. And international students are a big part of their student body. So all these other major corporations, they had to, I guess they felt like, you know what, if we don't do it, or at least say we're not going to have it. Because a lot of companies probably said, you know what, we're not going to have DEI initiatives anymore, but they probably intended to still have those brands in their store. And what did we do? We didn't think about the Tabitha Browns or about the lip bar. That's when I go to my Target doesn't have an Ulta, but it has an entire wall, an entire aisle of the lip bar, and that's owned by an African American. I went there and spent $300 on the lip bar one day, and I do not have Target. I'm not a part of the Target affiliate program. So what did I do? I directed my people to go to Amazon because you could buy it there too. So that's another thing you could do. When you are affiliate creator, you can make a product go viral. You can make a product go viral. You can shop at another store and include your links, and then people will come and watch your content from that store. And then you can go shop at Walmart. Go shop anywhere. You can shop anywhere and do a shopping haul. And oh yeah, go look at my Target storefront. I have, you know, deals that you're gonna love in my Target collection. Check that out. You can post that at the bottom of your description, and people will go click on that too. And I'm gonna tell you, most of my clicks come from Facebook. Some of them come from YouTube, but the majority of the clicks I get, they come from Facebook for the affiliate program. So something to consider. But yes, once again, shout out to my father, my stepfather, and my baby father. Rest in peace to you. Your kids miss you, and I miss you too. I hope I don't dream about him. Every time I talk about that man, I have a dream about him. I do miss him too. But yeah, he was a good father. Man, he could tell his kids, he could be on the phone. I could tell my daughter when she was 4 or 5 and she'd be cutting up, all right, I'm gonna call your dad. She'd be like, no, 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 don't call my daddy. Don't call my daddy. Mind you, her father never spanked her. And he would always say, oh, she's so spoiled. You let her be so spoiled, rotten, and blah, blah, blah. He would always complain to me about that, right? But when she would start batting those eyelashes at him, because he said, Raven, what are you doing? Because he hear her throwing a tantrum on me. He said, Raven, get in here now. And she'll come into the room and she said, yes, daddy. And then she'll just bat those eyelashes at him. And he said, what are you doing? And he was like, she was like, they were like, sit down right there. But that's all he had to do. Me, I'm sitting up, Raven, stop, Raven, isn't it? And she's cutting up on me. Raven is still cutting up on me at 13 years old. Thanks, Kendall. I love giving out gems because I'm not a gatekeeper. Um, I'm a girly's girl, you know? I like to be able, I've always been that type that thinks she knows it all. My grandmother told me that the other day. Sidebar for a minute. I said, I told my grandmother, I said, oh, you live in a landlocked state. She was like, what's a landlocked state? I told her and my sister that they lived in landlocked states. Mind you, I just heard about what a landlocked state is, right? But I said, you don't live by a beach or anything like that. You don't have any surrounded bodies of water. And it was like, and I was like, yes, you do. And so what did my sister do? Because she's a know-it-all too. She looked it up. And she said, Grandma, we do live in a landlocked state. And my grandmother is highly intelligent. My grandmother is like 90 years old still in complete control of her faculties. And she's like, Charity, you think you know it all. And then she started laughing. She said, you always trying to know something. Because finally, my grandmother is a know-it-all too, right? And my grandmother will argue me down. We always have debates. But finally, I had knew something that she didn't know, right? So, but that's always my thing, to always try to tell somebody something, try to put them on, because I don't understand people who don't want to put somebody on. Like, you know something that could help somebody and you're not going to tell them. Like, you know where they can get a deal, where they how they can save some money, how they can make some money, and it's legal, it's not going to hurt them, and not too many people know about it, and this is something that is going to help them to be able to do something they need to do. I love to do something like that. I love to help somebody be able to get something that's going to help them in the long run. And there's no, I don't do it for like, oh, charity did this and that. I just do it because it does feel good to help other people, right? And then if it works, like if I tell you something and you're actually able to benefit from it, then it's just like, okay, I was just used as a conduit to help somebody do something. And I guess it's a little selfish because I want somebody to help me like that. I want somebody to help me like that. Like if I don't know something, pull my coattail and let me know so I can be up on game. Don't leave me out here in the dark and you see me struggling. Like, I know there's people that know something that could have helped me and they never even once told me, oh, if you do it this way. And you know what? I'll just find it out on my own. And when I find it out on my own, I'm going to do better at it than you did. And I'm not going to be mad at you or hate you for it. I'll probably even share the benefits with you, but then I know I did it myself. But I know when somebody else, and that's the kind of person I've always been too, if I went through something because I didn't get help, I'm going to make sure the person that I come across, I help them. No, she don't want me to know more than her because my grandma thinks she knows everything. My grandmother is a very smart woman, and but I think that we have different perceptions because my grandmother is probably older and set in her ways, and she feels how she feels about life. When I was younger, oh, I would call her on my mom all the time, or I used to always think my grandmother and my mom were like the smartest people on earth. I would call my grandmother and ask her what she thought about something in a heartbeat, and she was right about all of it. A lot of it she was right about. And it's a few things that I can point right to and say, Grandma was right about that. But some things I just be like, no, you tripping. You're tripping, Grandma. And I don't want to. I used to argue with her a lot, like not argue but debate with her. But now I just let her have it, because my grandma's getting up in age, and if she say something, even if I don't like it, even if I don't understand where she's coming from, I'd be like, all right, Grandma, because she's been here longer than me. You gotta let her have it, and I'm probably not gonna take that advice no way. Sorry, Grandma. I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening. And then too, I just wanted. I'm getting up in age. Not that up in age, but I'm getting older. And I have daughters who I want to listen to me. I have nieces I would like to have an impact on their lives, not because I want to tell them things, but because I want to help them avoid some of the pitfalls that I've experienced. You know what I mean? But it's getting late, y'all. I know some of you guys are like 3 hours ahead of me. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. I put my time in a little over my time. I think next week I want to start doing 3 hours. I'm going to start doing 3 hours. And I got a few topics that I want to, I'm going to ask you guys real quick. I wanted to, and I might combine them. I don't know. Let me see. I was thinking, oh, maybe I didn't write it on here. I was thinking about, should I do, thank you, Kendall. I was thinking, should I do the topic on side side hustles that moms can do to make extra money, or I was thinking about doing a live on the on basically should teenagers go to college, like high school, when they graduate from high school, should they go into college, or is it more beneficial to teenagers to take on a trade or start a job? So I was thinking about doing that. Which one should I do next? Or I may come up with something else, because I was thinking about doing one of those tonight. But I don't know. I'll see which one brings me more notes when I start um, brainstorming. Whichever one gives me the most talking points, I'll do that. Do both at the same. I am gonna do both, but I don't know which one I wanted to do next. And I gotta think of a title for the college. Should Is college still beneficial, or should you go to a trade school? I got to think of the title, but basically that's what I'm gonna do. That one or side hustles. And I don't know if I could talk about side hustles for 2 hours. I really don't. I know some, but I don't know if I can make it last for 2 hours. So, and I actually, like I said, I want to go for three. So, all right. Thank you, Kendall. Have a good night. Shout out to the fathers. I hope you guys enjoyed your day. I hope you got to see them babies. And if not, take her to the courthouse tomorrow. Be the first one in line at the courthouse to file them papers for custody. Don't let them bitter baby mamas and deadbeat mamas stop you from seeing your kids. I think either one works when it comes to college. I always tell my sons, military, college, take up a trade or get a job. Not all people go to college. Plus, there's so many other opportunities, and we know college not for everyone. Right. I think I'll do that one tomorrow. And check my email and get in my email so we can try to see who's going live when, because I want to be a part of your live and Jazzy's live tomorrow. I like the conversations we be having. Have a good night. Love you all. Stay blessed. Go to Colt. Take her to court, Kendra. Good night, girl.